welcome to Pedantic Handwavium, the podcast that applies science to fictional worlds. I'm Simon.
And I'm Jeff.
So Jeff, you know how excited I am about this subject. I have been so excited.
Yeah, you've been going on and on about
I just can't hide
just
it.
everything.
Well,
really.
no, I believe that it was like one of my first ideas where I was like, this is something we should do for the podcast.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it is, because it's such a ridiculous world, it is Pokemon.
It's just pants on head silly.
It's so crazy. It's almost like they weren't even trying to create science fiction. That's what it's like. They were just ignoring every rule.
It's like they just wanted to make a bunch of fun little animals and sell some figures and games and maybe some trading cards. Who knows?
Almost as if. I wanted to start off. I feel like we've been doing too much hard science. I wanted to do a soft science first this time. So
yeah, hot off the heels off of the breakfast cereal mascots.
Hot off the heels. Well, this will be actually hot off the heels of, I think, Battlestar.
I don't know.
Which is even
we'll
more hard. I think it's either Battlestar or it might be the one after that one. Anyway, I forgot to count while I was at work. What kind of society, okay, allows for it to be commonplace for 10-year-olds to go wander the world fighting animals, like with their own animals? Pretty much, what society makes it legal to do dog fights and also unaccompanied minors everywhere?
Very forward-thinking society, I would think.
You think dog fighting? That's the thing. It's so contradictory. They are so contradictory. Here we have.
You have the trained fighting dogs keeping your small children safe.
Oh,
and they have to fight them if you ever make eye contact with somebody else.
I didn't think that. That's an interesting idea. That the Pokemon are actually not they're not attacking because their trainer is telling them to attack. They're attacking because they're hyper aggressive guard animals, and they're just attacking indiscriminately.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, you are then also sending them out. So, like, they're hyper-aggressive guard animals, but then also, literally everyone is, terrified of everyone else. I think this is a really great dystopian novel. It plays on the ideas where you want children to be self-sufficient and go out into the world early and be able to kind of develop their ideas really early on, but you're also terrified they might get kidnapped. So pretty much what you do is you get those, like, give them dragons to keep them safe.
Yeah. You're like, it's like nowadays if we were like, okay, honey, here's your M4, now go on the subway and go to school.
Have a great day.
If someone looks at you wrong, they're probably a kidnapper. I think that's what goes on.
Just unload.
Yeah. Prove me wrong, internet. Prove me wrong.
So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of people trying.
So the question
is, that hard.
Do you think that people in this world are vegans, or do you think that they eat their Pokemon?
Yeah, because there's no other...
We don't see, like, cows.
Actual animals that you see, right?
Yeah, and most Pokemon are, like, as intelligent as dogs. And, like, cows are pretty intelligent, too, but they're not, like, sociable like dogs are. Pokemon are mostly sociable.
They're sociable. Yeah. Cows have best friends.
I mean, but not, like, sociable with humans. As sociable with humans. Yeah. Like, they don't, like, look us in the eye and things like that. Like, that's what makes it difficult to eat them.
I've never been that close to a cow, I don't think so.
I mean, they're friendly, but they're not, like, dog friendly.
Okay.
You don't get the sense that they love you.
They just love those cow scritches.
Oh, well, yeah, and they love it when you take a rake and you rub it against their neck.
Mm-hmm.
So we're thinking vegans? They gotta all be vegans. No one's walking up to Miltank and being like...
Miltanks, no, like, they do make milk and people do consume it, no?
That's disgusting. I mean, I guess regular milk is disgusting.
Well, I mean, that's regular milk.
which is why I don't eat it, and there's no such thing as a chicken. Oh, there is a chicken Pokemon. Do you think the fire chicken...
There's a lot.
Do you think the fire
makes
chicken...
fire eggs?
Well, not fire eggs, but do you think...
Actually, they all make eggs too, don't they?
They do, but...
Oh, no.
Do you think the chicken that... Oh my god, do you think the chicken can make hard-boiled eggs?
Make its own hard-boiled eggs?
Yeah.
I mean...
These are the real
not
questions.
Right away. Like, it would need to boil water. I don't think it would boil them in its own body.
I mean, but I feel like if you're cooking an egg all the way around, maybe it'd explode. So it probably doesn't do that. Okay, that makes sense.
When you're cooking an egg all the way around, that's just a boiled egg.
That's what I'm saying. Like, do you need water to make what we would call a hard-boiled egg? We call it because we boil it.
Right.
If I were to stick an egg in the oven...
Oh, so if you stick it in the oven?
Yeah, but I think it would explode.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
No, I've never done it. Maybe I'll try that this weekend.
And we will learn later if we believe that whatever its name is, Flamey Bird, can make its
What's
own...
one? Torchic maybe is one of them?
Torchic, that's it. There. Good job. Yeah, Torchic. If it can make its own... I mean, I would have that Pokemon then. I'd be like, I could get eggs every morning for free. It's already cooked. It's warm.
Well, can you though?
I would say. I mean, if it's
have
possible,
they is it canon that they can just make eggs, or do they have to actually mate?
I don't know. I mean, they probably have to mate, and based upon if evolution has anything to say about it, they probably have developed like heat-resistant eggs. Their eggs have like a layer of that reflective heat stuff that NASA uses in its space blankets. Probably something like that. But then you're trapping heat. I don't know. I think the whole thing is fishy.
Well, yes. I don't think you're too far off.
I think they haven't fully thought it through about how Pokemon reproduce.
And that's why we're here.
Exactly. All right. So we solved that. This is a society that's just hyper paranoid, but also trying to be very progressive. It's the total centrist.
It is the perfect world.
Yes, it is the perfect centrist, middle of the road world.
Good. Yeah, got it. Nailed it.
Were you?
It is a utopia.
Wait, does this mean that when you get money from winning a Pokemon fight, that you're mugging someone?
Yeah, have you never realized that? And when you lose a fight, you lose half of your money.
Oh my gosh. Wow, this is just like a very violent dystopia. I mean, not like dystopias aren't violent.
Right, but they do have all that, subsidized Pokemon healthcare.
That's what they get free healthcare. Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
So here's a question. I'm sorry, we're not getting to any of our questions. Do you think that Pokemon fighting was normal before you could heal them automatically at a Poke Center? Or do you think it's like a medieval time period where Pokemon are fighting and they have to they
wouldn't have had the technology to do that. Like, they wouldn't have had the technology for Pokeballs even, or to digitize the Pokemon into computers.
But you can befriend a Pokemon and it'll follow you around.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think that's what they did and they fought with those?
Oh yeah, definitely.
This is a horrible world.
Yeah.
Why do people like it so much? It's just
because OG fat Pikachu is just so cute.
Okay, that's fair. I don't know if I could eat Pikachu. I could probably eat...
well, I don't think I'd eat a mouse today either, so
I would eat a
tracks.
mouse. Depending on how
I'd probably eat a Ponyta.
Yeah, I mean, there might. I mean, not much on them. Anyway, we'll move on. So, yeah, okay. Next thing, Pokeballs.
Mm-hmm.
How do Pokeballs work?
Right.
So here we go.
Oh, hey, we missed a segue.
Yes, we did.
We were close, though.
We were so close.
Next time.
One of these days we'll segue.
Right.
So for people who don't know, Pokeballs, little balls, you throw them at
keep Pokemon inside.
If you're in the anime, they can be the size of walnuts, but they expand to be the size of softballs. And I think softballs is kind of like the idea size.
Mm-hmm.
But they're keeping, let us say, Naruto, which is not a Pokemon. Let me think of Gyarados. That's like a 200-foot-long snake monster inside of softball-sized thing. So how does that work? Time Lords?
No, not Time Lords. I'd imagine similar to how transporters in Star Trek would work.
So you think they're
digitize the information
and then destroy the original?
Destroy the original.
Oh my god! That's horrible! Because they're not being made anywhere else. That's a fine thing about Star Trek teleporters, is that your body is being made someplace else. So you're not just stuck someplace digitally. But in this...
Yeah, you would have to put all that matter somewhere, wouldn't you?
Oh my god. I mean, it could just be like condensing it and then recycling the same matter and like just reconstructing Pokemon. And that's why you can only hold like 6 Pokemon at one time.
Because they're so heavy.
Yeah. Or that's how much matter it can regenerate effectively.
Oh, well, I mean, there are like 6 different Pokeballs. So each Pokeball would have to be able to...
Oh, you're right. Only
regenerate as much matter as like the largest Pokemon.
That's insane. Here's what we're gonna do. Cosmoem. If you had Cosmoem in your pocket, that is a heavy Pokeball.
Yeah, well, that's just a heavy...
That's
probably literally world-ending Pokemon to begin with.
Yeah, but that's half a ton to have in your pocket. I know, I think one seamstress, and I'm pretty sure she would agree with me in saying most pockets cannot hold a half a ton.
I mean, you need some reinforced stitching,
there you go.
Couple of rivets here and there.
You have Kevlar stitching and lots of it. All right. I know I like that idea. I like the idea that it's just digitizing it, and I like it better if it doesn't need to store the mass, but it's just storing the information. And so the size is just the size of essentially like a hard drive.
And that works into the other Pokeballs, so I don't know what other kinds.
Yeah, like the Master Ball,
Ultra
the
Balls,
Shock
Master
Ball.
They're just better computers.
or more specific computers. That's true.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Look at that. We're doing so good.
Yeah, we're...
So I was going to do berries and potions, which are other buyable objects in the games, or findable objects in the game. But are we just saying that those are just nanoparticles? Just nanoparticles? Or like not even, but it's like
well, it can't be nanoparticles. Like,
well, we could. So that's what I was saying. Like, is the reason berries emphasize certain biological characteristics because they're actually filled with like bacteria, yeast, and stuff like that has evolved symbiotically with certain types of Pokemon.
Well, I think the berries are just berries, man.
You think that? So you think they're not actually doing anything to heal the Pokemon? The Pokemon just has food.
Oh, yeah, no. The HP, the hit points for Pokemon, like, in the game, that is not a quantified measure of health. That's not how much blood they have in them. That's just their willingness to fight.
Okay.
And if you give me a handful of raspberries, I will punch a guy.
I will be so ready to fight. I like that, and I like the idea that potions are just synthetic versions of the berries, or concentrated versions of the berries. So whatever the berries...
the potions could be different. The potions are like anesthetics or something. Yeah, so it's like they can't feel all of those bruises from getting hit in the face really hard.
Some of them are probably like amphetamines, things like that.
Oh yeah, these Pokemon are definitely hopped up on something.
So all we've decided is that potions are heroin and meth. That's fine. I mean that's like what people use now to fight.
Yeah.
So the next thing is Pokemon. I wrote down Pokemon powers, but I mean Pokemon powers as well as types.
Okay, so you're thinking powers as in being able to breathe fire or laser beams at things?
Yeah. Even strength. Is that just adrenaline?
Well, that's definitely what that is, yeah.
Okay, so they have like total control over their adrenal gland, but after they've used it, they're like, oh man, I'm tired. Like, oh man.
I'm real winded here. Give me some berries.
Spontaneous generation of flame. Do we think that they just exude methane? They just exude methane and set it on fire.
I mean, there are...
if you say there are creatures that can breathe fire, I will not do this anymore with you.
There are creatures... No, I mean, there are creatures that produce caustic chemicals and stuff, so...
That's true. Like the little spitting dinosaurs from
too far
Jurassic
out
Park.
that they'd make something flammable.
I guess. And then they just have small electric charge to light on fire. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they have a taser in their mouth.
Yeah, the taser Pokemon.
Is there more crazy? How about things like Dream Eater or Hypnosis? We just think that's...
Is it... Yeah, I don't... Would that literally be eating their dreams?
So I think a good...
Is that just like a romantic name given to it?
I think that might be just a romantic name given to it. Because what I think it is if you were able to get a targeted, powerful enough magnet, what you have to do is shut down alpha-beta waves in a brain. Put that person into a coma. You're not asleep, you're in a coma. And then you have like a blast, like a concentrated blast of magnetic waves that just like shock the brain when it's in a coma state. Like that's Dream Eater. And we just call it Dream Eater. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. I don't know why.
Yeah, I like that.
So we have like biologic creatures that probably have neodymium as part of their structure.
Person.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they probably... So here's another... Are we saying that when they have metal and rock in their body types, that's just their cells, their skin cells have the natural ability to uptake crystal structures and then create sheaths of it? But I guess that makes sense. It's like creatine. Like turtles. If they just were able to do it with crystals. I don't know what creatine's actually made of. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not sure offhand.
But like it's just deposition, like singular deposition of minerals that just grow outwards. Okay. Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah, I think we've done it. How about evolutions?
That is one I wasn't keen on dealing with.
Is it like super puberty?
I don't... It's like super puberty because I'm trying to think of how Pokemon look like when they evolve in the anime.
They just glow. They glow.
So they do give off light.
They do. So we know that there's some amount of energy given off. Because light is a very common byproduct of very powerful reactions. If you don't believe me, look at a light bulb.
Just look directly into the light bulb. Or just cut out the middleman. Look at the sun.
There you go, yeah. In fact, the entire Earth is heated purely based on light. So like the obvious, the layman, the unintelligent, the non-intellectual is sitting there going, hey, Dumbos, what about butterflies? And the things they were before, caterpillars.
Yeah, but that also, they have their cocoon stage, and that takes a while.
Yeah.
And they dissolve and reform into beautiful butterflies. That's not what happens when Pokemon evolve. They just kind of turn into a ball of light and turn into something different.
And not to mention what happens when you have an evolution where you're like, here's a stone, and Eevee's like, oh man, now I'm a Jolteon.
Yeah, I was going to say we should unpack evolution for the uninitiated.
Eevee is like a small fox? Maybe dog. I don't know.
Yeah, I think a fox or a dog.
Yeah, it's something like that. And depending on what stone, like a water stone or a thunderstone or like a fire stone, it turns...
Or how much you love it.
Or how much you love
also,
it. Yeah. It turns into a different type of Eevee. A Jolteon, it's like an electric Eevee. And it once it's there, it's permanently there. You can't turn it back into a normal Eevee. No Pokemon can go back in evolution. But it can go forward. Vaporeon is a water evolution. Or like the other ones that I don't care about because...
Flareon and Espeon and...
Umbreon, yeah.
And I think there's like half a dozen others.
Yeah, that's a whole bunch.
Happened after I stopped playing.
I really only know Jolteon, Vaporeon, and the fire one that I never use.
Flareon.
There you go, Flareon.
So you really only know the two.
Yes. My knowledge, so we should mention right now, as we are probably 20 minutes into this episode, Jeff and I stopped playing this back in the...
Probably like Gen 2.
Yeah.
Maybe Gen 3.
Back in like 2002. Right? We have not played this for a while. So, evolutions. Come on, Jeff. We can crack this.
Right.
We cracked the human soul.
We did crack the human soul.
Which may be in a later episode from this one.
Let's see.
Come on. Let that biologist brain chug.
Yeah, no, I think that's where I'm getting bound up.
Chugga-chugga. 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 That's Jeff's brain.
Let's see. They level after, or they evolve after experience, or you throw rocks at them.
Yep.
or if you love each other enough.
Yep. I mean, most of those could just be like endocrinological.
Be a similar trigger between those.
Puberty is probably the easiest one. It's an endocrinological trigger. Whatever that stuff is, the love hormone that I'm not. I was going to say oxycodone. Oxytocin, not oxycodone.
Yes. No, they're close.
Oxytocin causes a physical change based upon its just existence in a certain level in these creatures. So that's
okay. Well, and yeah, I can see that for the love triggering it or the rocks triggering
Experience might just be levels of testosterone or levels of other hormones that come about when you have a large amount of experience. Not experiences in things you've done when you do something a certain number of times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So then why would they all... Well, there are, like, the god and creator Pokemon, so presumably they all came from that. So they do have a common ancestor,
yes.
Which would explain why they are. Most of them evolve, and they all evolve the same way.
It's true. And are we saying that they just... How about this? Most Pokemon maintain a similar shape. Very few completely change.
Right.
So what if their skeletal structure and their skin stays intact, but their insides liquefy and they essentially grow new organs based upon what they're evolving into?
Okay. Well, yeah, like that makes sense, but still...
It's just a very painful...
to kind of explain it.
I
guess, yeah, like it would be excruciatingly painful.
Yeah, and it would take a lot of energy. But maybe that's what...
Yeah, that's the other aspect.
Maybe that's what Pokemon are doing. That's why it takes so long to evolve them, is because they have to store...
Oh, they're just storing up all that energy?
They're like bears. You know how bears...
The more things they fight, the more powerful they become.
Yeah, you know how bears eat a whole bunch and then turn into larger, scarier bears? This is how you get from, like, sun bear to, like, a black bear to, like, a grizzly bear to, like, a polar bear. They're just natural evolutions.
Sure. Yeah, that's the one.
That's all I'm saying, Jeff. I think we've...
I mean, aside from equating it to actual animals
yes.
I think I can allow that it is, storing some sort of energy and then it bursting out in beams of light and changing its physical form.
Maybe the beams of light don't actually happen and it's like... Or
maybe they're just censoring it in the anime.
Oh, maybe that too. I mean, watching a creature liquefy and rebuild itself.
Oh, yeah, no, I think that's what it is. Yeah. It's not actually light. Like, that doesn't actually happen. That's just censored for the anime.
Yeah.
Because they turn into a puddle of mush.
Yeah.
And then reform into something else.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's real gross.
Uh-huh.
So, now we get to the other biological aspect of this that we haven't conquered yet.
Mm-hmm.
Dittos and ditto mating. For the listener who doesn't know Pokemon, congratulations on being so old and listening to podcasts.
Yeah, I'm super proud of you.
Anyway, so Ditto is a pink pile of mush, and its power is that it can copy whatever Pokemon it sees. What this means in the game is it can mate with almost any creature of an opposite gender. So the question is...
Well, it doesn't even have to be opposite gender, no?
I believe it does.
Or ditto...
I think Didai...
Gender neutral?
I think Didai are gendered. We should...
Ditto, genderless.
Oh, never mind. So it doesn't even need to be the opposite gender. Any gender. So the question is, how?
I mean, that we covered it with the evolution.
We're saying
that it just sees it and then takes that form, but it's not able to consistently hold it or to stably hold it.
But it has to have some kind of genetic ability to mate. We're saying that Ditto is able to copy a creature better than a donkey and a horse, like more closely than a donkey and a horse, because it can create viable offspring to mate with. You can inbreed ditto. So,
I'm thinking,
yeah,
proximity to ditto, for whichever reason, causes the gametes to malform. So there is a complete genetic set in the actual Pokemon that then lays an egg, and it is just whatever genes from the first one with whatever random mutation.
You know what? I like that. Can I add something?
Absolutely.
So the problem with that, because I thought of that, it was able to just like trick the game. Like essentially, what you're saying is that the gametes of a Pokemon mating with a Ditto are tricked into thinking that it has the same pairs. So you're essentially cloning the original Pokemon.
Yes.
I would say the problem is that you can get Pokemon of different phenotypes by mating with a Ditto.
Oh yeah, I mean there's still random mutation.
But what I'm saying is that
within the
it's random mutation through like one generation. What if it's actually a retrovirus, and that what it's doing is it is injecting the variability in DNA into the other Pokemon.
Or I agree with that.
Yeah, that way you have a little bit of a
more randomness, more variation to the like original genes.
Yeah, and then that could also be how it tricks, how it does stuff, is that it's a virus that essentially copies the DNA that it sees while implementing its own stuff in the chromosome that it's creating. You know what I'm saying? So it essentially creates a full set of like how many chromosomes it needs to mate, and then while doing that,
I don't even think it would necessarily be it's not injecting the actual randomized genes. It's just injecting chemicals that will cause that to happen.
Okay. I don't know how you would trick a gamete into mating with itself, though.
Not necessarily mating with itself, but
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
That causes more mutation.
Yeah,
or
that's what I'm saying. Like
the genes don't, the DNA doesn't separate properly, so it still has a complete set.
Okay.
Of pairs. So
you're not even saying you're going past gamete. You're going to a what's the two thing? Because aren't gamete like sperm and egg?
Yeah. Well, yeah, so that's what I was saying.
It
malforms those gametes.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So it is formed with that full pair.
But that way it wouldn't be able to form with a female that only has one gamete at one time.
That's just genetic recombination. It's normal. Well,
all it has is DNA helicase, which is like an actual enzyme, and all it's doing is it's taking the DNA from a gamete, splitting it in half, creating its opposite, and then using that as a gamete. That's all I'm saying. Is that it's essentially like a cell that's whole purpose is to not use its own nucleus. It probably doesn't have one. It also just has like RNA and DNA helicase. It turns the DNA into two separate forms of RNA, and then it creates a copy of them, and then uses that as a set of chromosomes.
Yeah, that could work.
But I'm pretty sure that's pretty much what you said. Just with like a little bit more of like an in-depth, specific.
I mean, yeah, you were more verbose about it. But
well, I'm sorry.
I didn't know we were actually wholly defining the mechanisms.
Well, I felt like I could, so I did.
So you just ran with it. You saw your chance.
I felt like I had a premonition, not a premonition, epiphany of how dittos might work, and I was like, I should capitalize on this. This is good. This is good radio. So the only other thing I have, there's two more I have. One is sentient ice cream cones, mud, rocks, and keys, which are all actual Pokemon. And yes.
Now, yeah, are they described as, are they 100-year-old objects that got a soul and turned into monsters?
Oh, whoa.
Or are they just, what, did I just lay down some Japanese myth on you?
You just not only laid down Japanese, I mean, I don't know if you did, but what you did is you explain how these things exist in this world.
It's just Japanese myth.
Well, it's not kind of, vaguely. They do. I mean,
okay, continue.
They're pretty clearly ice cream cones. But what I'm saying is, I'm looking at Vanillish right now for those who are following along.
Okay, that one's a bit past my time.
It's past my time as well. I am aware of it because it was like when someone was, "Hey, this is a stupid Pokemon." I was like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "It's an ice cream cone," and you were like, "Okay, why did they have to do this?" Yes, this is what I'm talking about.
Well, even in the original 150, there were stupid Pokemon.
Oh yeah, no. Like there's rocks and like there's Grimer in that.
Yeah,
just sentient mud.
Yeah.
However,
continue.
for a few of them, for the ice cream cone, for the human objects.
Oh, and it evolves into a double ice cream cone.
Yep. the human objects were designed around the Pokemon, not the other way around. So humans learned, they looked at it and they were like, we should create an ice cream confection that looks like that weird snow Pokemon.
Oh yeah, that tracks. That makes perfect sense. That's just like art mimicking life.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think art mimics life. Yeah. For sentient mud, I do have a suggestion for this. Based upon our previous evolution idea,
right?
Grimer is a Pokemon that at one point in time when it evolved didn't lost the ability to reshape itself. Yeah, well, not that it evolved incorrectly, but it lost the ability to reshape itself, which was for some reason beneficial for it, or totally reshape itself. So it is just a Pokemon that's.
Well, I mean, it does do that though.
Reshape itself
when it evolves. Yeah.
No. It just gets to a larger pile of mud. That is what its evolution is.
You're not wrong.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's a Pokemon that at one point in time evolved the ability to not reshape itself, and that for some reason was beneficial. And so it's not a pile of mud. It is instead a pile of flesh half-formed. That's what I'm going to go with it.
Well, yeah, I also don't think necessarily that Pokemon fit into the
classic evolutionary structure.
Evolves by fitness.
Oh my god, do you think they're all dog breeds? Like they're all man-made? But they're just like highly variable DNA, so they evolve very quickly, like in a human time.
No, I don't. No, okay. I don't think that. Just because then there'd be a lot more like
specificity and inbreeding.
Yeah.
Well, I tried.
Yeah, did you have anything else, or do we want to...
So I did have one more.
Huh?
This is the one...
Okay, you have one more, I have a couple.
Oh, well, because this is the one that we were talking about earlier, which is cosmoem.
Okay, yes, let's do cosmoem. That's more interesting than the other one that I had.
What was the other one you had?
Porygon.
I mean, what's the problem with Porygon?
It is a physical manifestation of a computer program or some such.
No, great idea. Oh my god. No. So back to
No, you can't explain all of them as that, because that is explicitly Porygon's shtick.
Okay, so this is the cool. So you know how we said that pokeballs were digitizing and storing Pokemon information. I think Porygon and Vaporygon are...
No, Porygon is just... it does evolve now into something like it's smooth or something.
And it's also Vaporygon 2, I believe, is the new evolution. Those are people trying to back engineer already made, like Pokemon that have existed in Pokeballs. Porygon is an entirely man-made Pokemon.
Oh yeah, I think canonically Porygon is entirely man-made Pokemon, and I don't think it was we're trying to model a Pokemon, but we're going to just make one that we made
or
up.
Try and create life. That's a pretty incredible achievement. So I think they're thinking like, if we can digitize life, we can create life.
Create it digitally.
Yeah. So it's like a Pokeball in reverse.
Right.
So I like that. I think that works.
Okay.
And that's why.
Well, I mean, yeah. If we go back with the Pokeball explanation, where it's just digitizing information and then recreating it somehow, where is this matter coming from when Pokemon leave their Pokeball?
Just like regular. I mean, maybe Vaporygon. Maybe they went into a Pokeball. They changed around some stuff, like with a pre-existing Pokemon in there, which is an unethical thing to do.
Yeah.
But they did that. and they created Vaporygon and Vaporygon-like things.
All right.
You sound upset.
That's just my voice, Simon.
Okay. So now we got number one problem.
Cosmoem.
Boom.
So for the uninitiated, like myself, Cosmoem is this super tiny, super heavy, and therefore super dense Pokemon.
let's give them some numbers, okay? So we're doing
go for it.
It is.
Do you want
a decameter tall?
Do you want metric?
It's 10 centimeters tall, guys.
But so it's real little.
It weighs half of a metric ton,
which is really big.
Yes, that is larger than a standard. I should say this. It's over 2,000 pounds. I actually don't know how much a metric ton is. I assume it's 2,000 kilograms.
Just calling out random things.
Well, because I realized I actually didn't know if a metric ton is 1,000 or 10,000 kilograms. It weighs 1,000 kilograms. Whatever. It weighs 1,000 kilograms. I'm getting my units messed up. It's a lot. That's a big thing. I mean, that's a heavy, and weight isn't even a thing. As someone knows who's worked with steel, 2,000 pounds, 1,000 kilograms, that's nothing. That's a regular old Wednesday for you. However, when you condense it to something that is 10 centimeters in diameter, I'm assuming, maybe less.
It's oval, so I guess that's how you measure it.
So that's what I'm looking at right now, is that I'm realizing that I think the densest part is the black mass in the center.
That would make the most sense.
That looks like it's maybe a quarter the size of the overall. I was going to say monster, but creature.
Well, they're monsters.
I mean, they're monsters to you.
Hence the name.
They're monsters to you. They're not monsters to the people who live in the Pokemon. Anyway.
Well, I mean, they're called Pokemon, which is a portmanteau of pocket and monster.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Is it a portmanteau in Japanese as well?
No. I think they just use the
American?
English pocket monster.
I think you mean American.
And then just mushed it. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one.
Anyway, I have a solution to this. And for anyone who isn't going to understand this, you have to understand the way this monster looks. It's a small black ball encased inside of a blue sphere, and that blue sphere is encased inside of like golden arms that like reach around it and hold it like a claw kind of thing. Like
that's a good description.
That's like how I would describe it. It's very difficult. You can look it up. It's spelled exactly the way you think it is. Cosmoem. I believe that Cosmoem is an artificial creature like Vaporygon that was created inside of a vacuous sphere that was free of Higgs boson particles. So, its mass does not distort space-time in the same way. And that is why it's in that kind of sphere. And then it has to be stabilized for some reason with the golden claws. But that's what makes sense to me. If you remove the material that creates gravity, it doesn't matter how much mass you actually have, that mass doesn't affect gravity. So the weight is probably an estimate because you wouldn't be able to weigh something that didn't affect gravity.
Yeah, would it be like an indirect measurement of it?
Yeah, but you can measure... Oh, wait, you can't do that if you don't have a Higgs boson, can you? It would literally weigh less.
No.
That's tough. That is a toughie. I would say a Higgs boson free sphere. What I think the sphere does is it stabilizes space-time around
in its own little pocket.
Yeah. So if you were to like stick your hand inside that blue ball, it would get atomized.
Spaghettification.
Beyond spaghettification. Like, we're talking your hand is crushed to smaller than an atom, and you're just left as like elementary particles. But outside, you're fine.
That seems fair.
And it still weighs that much. Like, it's still a heavy thing. I don't know how it moves. Does it live in the space?
I think it floats.
You think it floats?
Probably. I mean, I think in the anime, Ash, like, has held it in his hands.
Well.
So that's a whole other thing.
I mean, if it has the ability to sustain it... Oh, so here's the crazy thing. Okay, I got it. Boom. Brain. Right away. It is affecting gravity, but not its mass. So, if you were to throw it or, like, do something with it, it is still 1,000 kilograms in mass. So, like, momentum still affects it. Force kind of affects it, but it doesn't have gravity. So it's as if you were picking something up in space where you don't really feel its mass because you're not resisting its pull on Earth.
Okay.
That's what I would say. Boy, that was a toughie. I'm looking at this thing and I hate it because it's a bad explanation, but it is.
I mean, it's the best we got. Gravity doesn't count.
I would like to say that the ability of this creature is sturdy. It's just a sturdy creature.
That means
it's like a brick wall or concrete.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah. I mean, if what we're saying is correct,
it's real heavy.
This thing is bulletproof. What was it? 729 times as dense as black holes? Is that what we had?
Oh, that's just some number that I pulled off of Reddit. That is probably. I think that's it for round 1 of Pokemon. Okay. I'm sure we will revisit this at some point.
And we're approaching an hour of recording right now.
Yeah.
I love it so much. I was so excited about this. Anyway.
Yeah, you actually legit.
Yeah, I really was. I really enjoyed it. I just want to do more. Like, I want to find weirder Pokemon to be like, how does this work? This doesn't make sense. Porygon, that was one that I really had to think through. Anyway.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe to us on iTunes, and if you can, do that same thing on your apps. That gives us consistent downloads. It means that you get us consistently in your ears.
Visit us at our website, pedantichandwavium.com, or
it's just
if you're lazy, pedantichw.com.
Yep. HW, which I think we should make shirts that are just like HW as like the
like an element. Yeah, I'm into that.
I'm totally.
Let us know if you'll buy those shirts, and we will figure out how to sell them to you.
It's either a question mark or like an infinity symbol for all of its masses and like its oxidation states.
Yeah.
Our music was written by Joe Sopchak, whose name is in the descriptions, and will hopefully have his SoundCloud. He's gotten back to me about his SoundCloud before this.
Yes.
Who knows?
Hopefully there will be links in the show notes for you to look into Joe.
Yes, he's a very, very talented musician. We thank everybody who supported us during our opening day. We now get to mention this because this is closest to our opening day.
Have been live.
But seriously, a lot of people have actually gotten back to me and been like, "Oh, this is a good podcast." And I'm like, "Thank you."
Yeah, I have.
I know
my
it's good.
Mother said she enjoys our banter.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah, no, it's nice having you guys. We'll see you in what's our release schedule? 2 weeks?
Yeah. So this is every other Tuesday is what we should be going off of on Cosmoem.
And I'm Jeff.